So having heard that, so let's take that full circle. Now the longevity in it isn't just that's a feel good hit of the summer, right? Or that's a the feel good hit of the week. It's now I have to go on tour, build an audience, build a rapport with real people in a real environment somewhere in order to get the longevity because my people are gonna be following me. They want to see me, they want to touch me, they want to wear my clothes, they want to do this, they want, not just me sitting behind a microphone on a screen. So you still have to go out, you still have to develop some social skills.
Right.
You have to have some kind of stage presence, you have to have some kind of charisma, and you have to develop your craft. So those four elements are still in play if you want longevity in this, even though the internet has kind of short-circuited your instant ability to be in front of eyeballs. You still have to cultivate yourself. And so who is the Doja Holland, or who's the lady from Motown that was grooming the artists before they could go?
Suzanne.
Yeah. So who is that person now that's doing that for young people? YouTube is. That's terrible. I see some stuff on the YouTube, man.
Right.
Yeah. So there's no artist develop. Yeah, there's no A&R anymore.
You do have people that still develop artists, but they're just doing it because they know how to do it. They're not necessarily doing it for a label or they.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just people that just got genuine love for music.
Mm-hmm.
Like they still exist. It's just I mean, you love music, don't you?
I do, but I'm not A&R.
More so, well, yeah.
You know?
See, like one thing I'll say, I gotta mention Tone Scott, AK. Like I've seen him change like somebody's whole style and make it like sound good, like whoa, like and it's you got producers like Dr. Dre. Like you'll hear artists talk about him like exhibits. I didn't know about the next level until Dre did it, and you hear like his music before working with Dre,
Right.
and you hear he developed.
Afterwards.
He gave him some.
So there's still places out there where if an artist really takes it to heart and wants to do it, can move into that space, develop themselves, become mature in their craft, and then.
Not a producer, isn't it so that?
If I'm just on a microphone with a computer, who's producing me?
But I mean, it's all about finding a mentor in everything,
Okay.
whatever you do.
Well, producers produce is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like I know if I get on a track that DJ Butter did, and he's like, "Yo, I don't like how this sounds. You have to do this."
But you gotta find that DJ Butter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's training too. So yeah, exactly. So that's development. Producers are artist development.
Right.
You should get that guy that's sitting there taking your money and.
Well, you got producers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you got some people that'll just let you rap.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what
you
make.
good? Yeah, I'm good.
And I was 16.
That was 16. All right. Well, what we doing next?
Yeah.
To interject, the key word you said was longevity.
Yeah.
And remember, the record business, a wise man once told this, the record business is the record business. You're supposed to record music for centuries. Where B.B. King estate is still making money.
Yeah.
David Ruffin. So one of the things, and I'm not a paid spokesman for it, but like everything you need to know about the music business, Donald Passman, he kind of educates you on the business part for longevity.
Right.
Because you got to think about publishing, copyrights, all key essentials for you to protect your real estate in this world, your intellectual
property. Sure.
So if you don't have this, like you can put a dumb song out and it can hit Instagram or Snapchat, but if most of the time they don't have none of these business together, and trust me, I deal with that like now, and you deal with that, and they don't have all of it is uninhibited. You don't, so they just putting out a record, and some industry people are not going to tell them, that about the business. They'll just be like, hey, sign a contract, we'll give you an advance, because the music industry live off advances, like like football, they live off, the
you owe us $80,000.
Yeah, and then but the people who are making the most money in the record business and any entertainment is people who control the copyrights and the publishing, because you can that is immemorial. That is like immemorial. I mean, that is like going to be that's your real estate. And if you don't have that,
That's your legacy.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
longevity. You don't have longevity, you know. So yeah, so you got to think about that.
And then if you're on YouTube, who owns that property, right? That's the property of
Well,
YouTube.
that's being fought in the Supreme Court as we speak now, because it's like, yeah,
You create the content,
Yeah.
they distribute it, but they own it because you create it using their medium, right? So
Yeah.
that's a whole nother thing about
Oh, that's
longevity.
a
So if
whole
YouTube
other
decides
thing.
that you won't exist, you just don't exist no more.
Right, right.
Up hairs, like, just put that hair down.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll take questions from the audience. I'm done with my line of questioning. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
And first off, just a statement, and Zane touched on it. Spectacles has been an iconic spot, not just for hip hop, but for electronic music, for house music. And I think that a big part of that is the fact that, it's a brick and mortar spot that you can go to and learn and be exposed to. And she's been a major supporter for a lot of independent artists for years. So I just want to say that it's, it goes even beyond a particular genre of music. And it's really, and truth be told, I originally am from Ann Arbor, and one of the folks who got me to move to Detroit was Zan.
Okay.
So she's been a big part of my whole career arc. All that being said, listening to what a lot of you guys are talking about, I always think about the other genres of music out of Detroit, electronic music and jazz, which we just had the panel
Sure.
on. And in looking at a lot of what the jazz folks are saying, it's a really interesting contrast between that and what a lot of people here are saying. In terms of the support network within jazz and this whole idea of mentorship and all of that, why do you think that's not in hip hop? I'm just curious as to what's the missing piece?
Why do you think there aren't more mentors in
Ego.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple. Ego.
And
There it
it's
is.
relevance too, honestly. Like, if I hear you, which is stems in my ego, is just gonna, if I think that you're better than me, then I'm not gonna help you. The only place that I ever saw somebody really mentor somebody in hip hop was, I don't think, my mentor, who was like, she was a producer and a manager back in the day, and so she worked for like Ruffin Records and all that stuff, and she mentored me, but she wasn't an artist, but she said she's never seen, like in her 30-year career, has never seen like somebody actually really mentor another artist. Like nobody has done
But
that.
too, is like, I think a lot of people treat the artists like on some for nothing type stuff. I think that, is it even being a DJ, it's like you're supposed to be entitled to play the artist's record and, all this extra stuff instead of them bonding with the DJ. I mean, the DJ still has to buy an ego. He still has to, and they don't really look at it.
There's a cost involved in it, yeah.
And I think it's just, it's a beauty here. We just gotta see the beauty in something instead of being so pessimistic.
Okay.
Because,
Is it in the nature of being an MC or an artist that you have to be competitive? Like,
I think it's emotional. I think it's more emotional. I'm competitive with my father.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's because he gave up on his dream because Motown swept in his house. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as an MC, it's like, it's like, reach out. It's like, y'all don't know how, it's a camaraderie with the DJs that is missing. It's a camaraderie with the people skills is missing. Fuck just being in front of a disco ball and
Thank you, Internet.
Yeah.
No people
My
skills.
parents text me. I really don't. For real, that's
If you're behind a computer, you never develop people skills, right? Because I can rage quit. If I get mad at this game or you beat me, I can just rage quit, unplug the Xbox, and I'm on my way, right? You don't have to learn how to deal with defeat or with a negative situation with another person because there's a social contract that's made with me and you in the room, right? If I'm behind the screen, it's broken. I'm 00317 off this.
That's it.
Right? So I think that getting people in the room together, re-educating them. Education used to be in elementary school, middle school, and some in early high school. That is now lost because everybody's doing this. Right? They're all, they're on a little screen, and they go home and get on a bigger screen, and there's no time between me and you looking each other in the eye and working out our issues or working towards something collaboratively to make something better. And I hear your frustration in that with the new generation that's coming up, that you're trying to bring them together and educate them, and they're just not there.
Yeah, but I gotta say something.
Go ahead, say it.
When you talk about mentors, it's a
Yeah.
couple of people that need to be acknowledged because this is not breaking news, but like Proof mentor Eminem. That's commonly known. M says it in articles on Rolling Stone. You got people, and he's high in the headlines, but Kid Rock got mentored by like Champtown. People that's not recognized, but I mean, and I wouldn't be here today if like a Daryl Dawsey, Sean P, and people like that, or Billy T didn't help mentor me in my craft and said, that's, like I told you, Daryl Dawsey gave me a hard lesson, but I love him for that. And so it's mentors, but they're like hard to find, but they are mentors. In
So-
hip hop and that craft.
So can we start a website for Mentors Wanted and just?
It would be dope if people that have the knowledge and have the keys would actually give those keys, but it does take it takes a willing student to seek that.
I think that's what it is. I think, I'm not off subject, but as an airbrush artist,
Sure.
I would love to be able to teach somebody how to do it so that they can maybe take on some of the orders that I can do, or maybe take over when I'm too old to do it.
Or they could learn how to hustle themselves, period, for their own future development.
But I can't get anybody to invest in buying themselves an airbrush. Buy yourself an airbrush and I will do the rest.
On a Wada, or you would use Badger, or what?
Exactly. This guy knows his airbrushes. Yeah.
Or also there's Youthville, which is right down the street from here, and they're always looking for people to come in and mentor young people in their after school program. So they're still there, even though it's quiet as a kept. There's a $1 million video studio there, and there's a sound studio in the basement that's barely used, probably gathering dust. So
You look at it, kids don't ride bikes so much.
no, they don't do a lot of stuff, right? But also there's nobody there to teach them what this equipment is and how it's used. That's the other part of that. So we can build all the facilities we want, but if nobody, if there's a disconnect between the technology and how it's used and how you can use it to improve yourself, right? And the kids that come in and they just see it, but everything that's there is now on my phone, right? Because I can live stream or FaceTime or anything like that. I don't need to go learn how to use a camera and work with other people when I can do everything on my own. So I think a lot of that is technology has broken down social contracts that we have and certain constructs that we've had lived around and built our identities around. That's being challenged right now. But I think a lot of things hold true because we're still human beings. We all come into the world one way, and you still are not going to overcome a million years of evolution where we have learned to communicate and deal with one another in a certain way, and technology has put itself between that. So with that, we got a question in the back.
Yeah, question is, Mark Hicks, I remember you from the DJ Summits that Tyrone Bradley used to throw like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's
And it amazes me that these same topics were being talked about 20 years ago. So my question for you is the Detroit mentality is what's holding Detroit hip hop back? These same topics were said 20 years ago, regardless of the technology, whether it's better or worse, these same topics were said 20 years ago. So is the mentality...
Deal with it.
You know what? It's I would say that it's hard to. In contrast, Detroit is one of the. I would even say a top 3 market in making money. When you add all of the artists from the Big Seans and the Days Los and all these people are like making community because you gotta understand, Days Los got a a hype man, a DJ, they all are making money, out of and they're from Detroit. So, I mean, with that being said, I think it did change a little bit, but I think the vast, we a music city too. And so the vast mind state, it has stayed the same. But I tell you what, some of them people in the meetings from 20 years ago, they are still stuck in a rut, and they honestly have just gave up. Some of the leaders in that, as you probably know, but some of the underlings, it's unfortunate, but them meetings was bridges to where like Big Sean or Dej Loaf or all these other, Mike Posner, we were like the bridge, and it led to like mind thinking and growing. So yeah, that's a catch-22 question, bro.
It's not an either or, it's both and.
Yeah.
You got closing statements, anyone?
I love y'all. It's good to be home.
This was dope.
Share some love. Thank you all for coming out and staying for my long-winded.
One last thing, don't forget that Saturday is the main day. It is our comic book convention and International Film Festival. Everybody that paid to come today is more than welcome to come on Saturday. It's from 10 to 5 p.m. It's our 4th year. We have about 75 vendors from all across the country and outside of the United States, all comic creators and everything in between. So we really hope you come out. It's at Detroit Public Library, Midtown. I don't like to say Midtown.
Cultural Center.
Yeah.
Wayne State District.
All the above.
Up
Also
the street.
save some room on your
10
walls.
to 5 p.m.
All right,
So
we're
come
gonna
on
take
out.
home.
Thank you all so much for coming, and I most definitely appreciate you all.
Thank you.